The topic for today is Career Options in Commerce, a webinar for students entering Standard 11th. As I said, primarily people who are entering into Standard 11th. So today we will try to discuss about insights into commerce as a field, as a stream of education, various career choices that you have after 12th, especially because 11th and 12th will be the foundation that will be laid for commerce as a stream. And after that, your real struggle of choosing a particular long lasting career would start. Qualities that a commerce student should possess. This is again a very important area which I would like to discuss. And it has come as a result of my experience where I interact with students and I find certain qualities specifically that make a person successful in commerce field. So now let's come to the discipline that we are talking about today, commerce. So what exactly is commerce? Why should someone pick up commerce as a stream of education? So, if you see the dictionary meaning of commerce, commerce is all about business of buying and selling things. So, primarily, it used to be products that are being sold and bought. But in say about last 3, 4, 5 decades, you would see that along with the products, a lot of focus is being given on service industry, services being provided, and when you create a product, when you innovate a product, it is absolutely science. But when you give a service, it is more into commerce domain, because commerce is the field which involves people, it involves money, it involves uh, product or the service that you want to deliver, and it involves interaction between various businesses, various organizations of business. So now commerce is a very broad area. It includes marketing, HR, systems, operations, supply chain, and finance. But generally, the trend is when you think of commerce as a discipline, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is CA or CS or MBA, and which will be generally in finance because people want to get into share market or financial institutions or portfolio manager, or they want to get into corporate finance. I would say don't even restrict yourself to finance. There are many other disciplines also in commerce which are extremely and equally interesting and challenging. For example, after the onset of or after the use of e-commerce, especially after COVID again, uh, this field has become very important. The technology is using supply chain and operations knowledge in and combining it with technology has become a very interesting area. When you think of marketing, it is not only selling; it also includes a lot about marketing analytics. When you talk about HR, it is not just about taking interviews and recruiting people. It involves a lot more than that. It has payroll processing in it. It has retaining. You need to set policies for retaining employees as an HR manager. So don't restrict yourself to one particular area, because I've seen this. That's why I want to talk about this. That people generally talk about finance in commerce, but don't narrow down your choices right away. There are many other options that you must look at this stage. And once you are done with your 12th standard, then you have a big choice to pick up from. But at this stage, your approach should be wide open. Have you seen that sand clock? So the sand clock is wider at the top, then it narrows down, and then again it goes wide at the bottom. So your approach at this stage should be like that. So should be like that. So initially, when you narrow down till 12th, you should have a very wide approach. Then pinpoint your career, do something in your graduation and post graduation with a clear focus, and then again you should have a bigger horizon. Because even when you become a MBA, it's not essential. So let's say I finish my MBA in finance and join a company, and there is a strike in the company. Can I say that I'm not an HR manager? Let me not handle strike. If there's no one else to manage or to talk to employees, you have to do that also. So don't even restrict yourself after post graduation to one area that you identify. However, having a fair idea about whether you want to be in the core zone of commerce or something applied, Like, for example, I will talk about it. I will talk about all the courses that are possible in the next slides. So, for example, something like fashion technology, photography, journalism, taking a foreign language and being a translator are available options in front of you also. They are into commerce, but they are applied subjects, I would say. They are not core commerce subjects, but definitely they use the knowledge of your 11th and 12th, the base that you create in commerce, and based on that, then hotel management is another area wherein many people nowadays are interested to go. So this is so these two, and the last one again very important. Are you prepared to work tirelessly? Are you prepared to study tirelessly for at least 6 to 8 years from now, and with what intensity? So are you kind of a person who can sit at one place and put in 10, 12 hours of hard work? Or are you a student who would not mind studying for 4 hours a day, but not more than that? So depending on that, also your course of action would be decided. For example, if you genuinely feel that you cannot really study for very long hours, then possibly something like CA is not for you. So that's why I said personality SWOT analysis is a very important analysis study that you have to take up at this stage in your life. Now let's go ahead with boiling down choices. So as I said, I already spoke about SWOT analysis. So when you want to choose a career, what all should you do? So you should actually research a lot into all the specializations, science, commerce, arts. Then try and get, so you have about 1.5 months of break before your results. So go to, like, if you have someone around you, some friends or relatives who are into business, go and please join their business for 2 months. Go and sit with them. Don't expect any salary as such, but go and sit with them and see how the business functions. That will give you a very good idea about what exactly lies in a business. Discussions and experience gathering. So meet people from various areas in commerce. So now that we are talking of commerce, I'll pinpoint to that. So go to chartered accountants, go to lawyers, go to company secretaries and meet them. I'm sure everyone has a lot of such professionals in the vicinity, like your friends or family. So go and talk to them about what was their process, what was their thought process when they chose a particular career. And today, after so many years into that career, what do they really feel about it? That again is going to give you a lot of insight into this field. And last but not the least, as I said, SWOT analysis will be of real importance to you. And knowing yourself is probably the first thing at this stage that you should go about. Now I would come to those areas. So I would suggest you all should take a screenshot, if possible, of this particular slide, because this probably is the most important slide of this entire discussion, entire presentation, where I have tried to list down all possible areas where a commerce student can work, or a particular field that you can pick up as a commerce student. So I'm waiting for a few seconds. So if you want to take a screenshot, it will be a good idea. Okay. So I have intentionally tried to differentiate into two boxes. The left-hand side box is more or less core commerce, and the right-hand side is sort of applied commerce. So let's read through them. So auditors, just a minute, there are some. Yeah. So auditors, that means chartered accountants. But why am I saying auditor is because not all the chartered accountants work in the tax and audit area. It has been observed that about 10 to 15% get into practice of taxation and auditing, but others, including people like me, are into non-tax and non-audit area, doing something else that is fulfilling for them as a career choice. So there are teachers, there are researchers, there are bankers. Again, I'll come to that. All of these, many of these rather, are the careers that chartered accountants take up. So I'm saying auditor specifically because this is where those chartered accountants who are into tax and audit practice will come. Then business analysts, again today, again, as I said, because of technological advancement, this field is becoming gaining a lot of importance and a lot of momentum also. So there are organizations, there are colleges which are giving business analysis as a course in their graduation as well as post graduation. I would talk a bit about it. So definitely that is something very interesting. Legal advisors, so all the lawyers as well as company secretaries can get into legal advice to various corporates or to individuals, obviously. Also management consultants is another area which I'll talk about little more as I go into my next slides. So management consultants are actually a mix of tax consultation, law consultation, pricing consultation. So in various organizations, people are needed to figure out the price of the product that the company is producing or the price of the service that the company is delivering. So management consultants are actually a mix of all this. They are into strategizing also. So there is a course called CMA, Cost and Management Accountants. That course will take care of this area of management consultancy. And again, um, that field is also getting a lot of momentum of late. Then there are commerce students can go as an expert in economics and advisory areas like policy making, budgeting. There are valuators who come from commerce background. They are the ones who will value your assets in case of disputes, or if there is a family partition going on, then you want to get all your assets valued correctly at today's market price. Actuaries will do that. Company secretary, as I said, it takes care of definitely legal advice, but it also the field as such, the company secretaries take care of compliances also. So there are organizations which need to comply with certain norms, certain rules, certain forms to be filled by those companies to the government of the country. Company secretaries help that. CMA, I just spoke about it. Bankers, so there are commerce students in banking field. So they complete their MBA and get into banks and even insurance, investment banking, all these three areas. Chartered accountants, company secretaries, and CMAs all find their place. So there are some professions which will have multiple opportunities open after you complete your degree there. Then SAP modules is again a very, very flourishing area. SAP consultants, so there are specific trainers available in the country, in Pune also specifically, who give SAP trainings. And then based on those trainings, you can easily find a very good opportunity in the industry as a SAP consultant or a SAP advisor. Then there are designers of not just fashion designers, but there are designers of various types like industrial designing. Then there are in countries like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, there are industrial exhibitions on a very large scale. So people are required there to design the stalls of the, because they run on a very high level. The expanse and the grandeur is really amazing. So designers of industrial designers, fashion designers are all people from commerce background. Then foreign language experts. So you can pick up a language while you pursue a graduation in commerce and go ahead and work as a consultant. Because nowadays there are many areas where commerce knowledge, like the knowledge of finance, knowledge of law, plus a foreign language is a very good combination. Because as multinational companies increase to function in our country, there will be no dearth of opportunities in this area as well. On the right hand side, I have listed a few areas which are definitely, some of them like marketing professionals, HR professionals are definitely core areas. Um, but some other areas like journalism or event managers are not very core in commerce, but they are definitely extremely good careers today. So event management, logistics and supply chain, journalism, then working as a teacher or as a researcher are also other opportunities that are available in commerce. And now I have listed a few broad courses here which I would like to discuss today. Again, the right hand side is not my expertise, but I would just broadly talk about it. But left hand side is where I would like to talk more. So when you think of commerce, picking up commerce as a stream, these are top five courses that come to everyone's mind, and that's why I picked them up. First is chartered accountancy, company secretary, law, cost and management accountant, and MBA. Apart from it, there are areas like investment banking, portfolio management, but chartered accountants or CMAs can work in that capacity also. So I haven't really, because there is there are few courses, of course, like CFA and CFM, but I haven't gotten a chance to include all of them today in this discussion. In the non-core commerce area, you would have photography, hotel management, designing, languages, and journalism, because these all are courses. What we saw in the earlier slide was role that you can take up, and these are particular courses that you can take up in your graduation and post graduation. So now let's briefly talk about a few of them. Now these are the careers that are to be that you can pick up after 12th. So we have come, as we started our discussion, we have come from why do you need to choose a career, how would you choose a career, to choosing commerce as a discipline. Now I will talk a little more about courses after 12th, and then I want to again come back to a few points in discussion for 11th standard students and 12th standard students. So chartered accountancy. This is how the student will go through this entire process. After 12th, there would be a CPT. The names, the nomenclatures keep on changing as the course gets revised. But this is the first, we used to call it foundation in our days. So now it is called a CPT, Common Proficiency Test, after clearing which you would go through a training and 3 years of training. And while doing that, you would clear your intermediate and final. So these are 3 stages: CPT, intermediate, and final, that you would take up when you want to pursue your career as a chartered accountant. So after completing your final, after clearing all those papers, remember in CA, CS, and CMA, all these courses, there is a limitation, or there is a certain cap on the marks that you get. So you have to obtain 40 marks individually in every subject, and together 50% plus. So this is generally the thumb rule for all these professional courses, where you need individual passing into a subject and also a collective passing into the entire exam as such. So you can get, let's say, 45 in one subject, but if you don't get, say, 65 or 70 in another, you won't be able to clear the entire group. So these courses are done in groups. So one group is of 3 subjects or 4 subjects. In intermediate, there would be 3. In final, there would be 4. So that collective group has to be passed with 50% plus. Nowadays, after COVID, or especially during the COVID and after COVID, now I think they will still maintain it that way this year. There's no clarity about it as yet, that CPT was taken in the MCQ format. For the first time in the history of these post-graduation courses or professional courses, it was taken in the MCQ format. But the world was in that format, so why they would be an exception? So second course that I want to talk about is company secretary. So just I missed on this particular aspect here, that chartered accountants can work as tax consultants, can work as auditors, can work in banking, financial institutions as portfolio managers, as teachers, researchers, as SAP consultants, into software companies as finance consultants or HR consultants. At times, I have seen people now who combine their finance knowledge with HR. So the course definitely has a glamour to it for ages, and why not? The next course is company secretary, which primarily has subjects like economics, taxation, financial and strategic management, and corporate funding. This is the only professional course where mathematics is eliminated. So there are a few students who talk to me about the fact that they are a little bit worried about mathematics. So for them, there's a news that in this course they won't have mathematics. But I would at this point genuinely like to suggest to everyone here that please, wherever possible, don't opt out of maths, because mathematics, I understand it can get difficult at times as a subject, but please don't forget that the kind of logic and overall aptitude that it develops will be helpful to you in your professional life. Also, don't forget that after 11th and 12th, you have to appear for various aptitude tests. In those tests, also, mathematics is a subject that you will have to appear for. So, even as you, let's say, after 12th, someone wants to get a BBA degree for graduation, for that entrance, also in aptitude, mathematics will be involved. So I would genuinely suggest that don't leave mathematics. It can get difficult, but with due guidance and with due practice about the subject, I'm sure students can easily go beyond it. Yes. So again, the same kind of route: 12th, CPT, intermediate, and final. The training is little lesser as compared to as compared to chartered accountants. I mean, the duration, and again, as I said, it keeps on changing depending on the policies of the institutes. Then LLB is another choice. And nowadays, there are two types of LLBs, two types of law courses that are available. One course is an integrated course where after 12th, you can directly jump into the degree where you will be doing 3 years of graduation and 2 years of post graduation in the same course. Similarly, as we are talking of integration, let me also give you a news that IIMs, Rohtak and Indore, have come up with integrated MBA courses, where after 12th, you can appear for 3 years of graduation and 2 years of post graduation in the same go at IIMs. The entrance is tough and I would say not very easy to crack. But if you can crack, it will be a very good opportunity. It is relatively a new course. So we don't have, honestly speaking, we don't have a lot of history to it as such. But it is definitely, since it is backed up by IIMs, um, it should be ideally be successful as a career choice. It's very new, so it's not correct to comment at this time on the success of that particular subject. So, but yes, there are now integrations possible for graduation plus post graduation. So you end up directly coming out as a postgraduate when you enter after 12th in a particular institution. The next course, as I said, is cost and management accountant, and I really suggest this course to many students because um, sometimes student can get or find chartered accountancy little tough or little challenging or little dry as a subject, and that's true. All of it is true. Although for all those who actually do it, actually end up clearing it, definitely they feel absolute interest in that area. But yes, it can be dry for a few. And CMA, however, is more vibrant as a profession, more vibrant as far as the subjects are concerned also. So 12th, then foundation, intermediate, and final. Uh, Again, the same path that you go through here also. But if you see the subjects here, see my cursor, there is a slight difference. You will have cost management and control, taxes, profitability analysis, business strategizing, and performance management in this area. And that's why this area or this profession is equally interesting, and that's why I end up suggesting it. Last but not the least, MBA. There are MBA, many streams in which you can take up a master's degree in business administration. So you can become an MBA in finance, HR, operations, IT, sports management, hotel management. CSR is another area. So in Pune, if I want to talk about, MIT offers MBA in CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, MBA in sports management, MBA in hotel management. So nowadays, these options are also available along with the traditional ways like finance, HR, operations, etc. So these are the primary courses that we have in MBA. These are a few other courses which you can take up after 12th. BCom obviously is the most traditional and most commonly taken up option. But I would suggest that nowadays BComs are unfortunately very common. And that's why if you want to do a good career in commerce, try and go for other courses like BBA, BFT, BCA. So this is foreign trade, commercial application or computer application. Both are available. Then BBA is like graduation in business administration. BSL is the law exam where you end up doing the graduation in law. Then, obviously, in post graduation, you have n number of options in mass communication. MCM is again computer management. MPM is personnel management. Triple M is marketing management. Then you can obviously pursue MCOM, but don't stop there. If you decide to pursue BCom, MCOM, go ahead with MPhil and PhD also, so that you have a enriching career. Then I already spoke about MBA, integrated MBA, just like you have integrated law degree now. And then there is graduation and post graduation possible in business analytics. This is available in universities, most of the universities, definitely in Pune. And right now, one of the more popular and successful universities is Christ University in Bangalore. They have a very beautiful campus, excellent teachers, excellent atmosphere to study. It's a residential course there, but absolutely a good choice. Now, again, an area where I want to bring attention of all the students and parents. When I interact with students in 11th and 12th and even in MBA, I have observed that, I mean, I wasn't also an exception. I will not say that I did a lot in 11th and 12th. Most of the time is spent in parking and hoteling and canteen and stuff, unfortunately, for commerce students, because they don't have a very hard and fast guideline, um, uh, hard and fast target, I would say, of getting into, say, medicine or engineering, nothing like that, right? So you would see age old practice of commerce students has been to study in last 2 months or something like that. But today, as a teacher, as a parent, I really feel that this is a very important time that students don't use to their fullest. This is an area where they should really focus on. 11th and 12th is like golden period for all the commerce students. The reason being, they don't have a lot of pressure to perform, because there is no particular admission exactly lying waiting for them based on these marks as such. So they are little relaxed, not a lot, but as compared to I would say science, because relatively admission in FY is easy for commerce. Secondly, they don't get into, so once they get into graduation and post graduation, the studies increase to a large extent. A lot of assignments, submissions, discussions will start happening, and then students don't get time enough to focus on developing their personalities. 11th and 12th is the time they should really use for this. I would tell you in what ways. First, again, I would recommend a screenshot for this also. Communication skills. Even in MBA, we see that largely this is missing, communication skills. So, communication, verbal, written, formal, informal, everything. There are courses which are specially working today on these skills. So, it's a good idea to join some of them and get more insights into communication. So, communication skills, another very important and crucial skill is negotiation skills. Very often we see that negotiations are very, very, I would say, crucial area of business deals. And so, if a person is good at negotiations, because negotiations doesn't mean only asking to reduce the price, it is negotiating with the entire terms of trade. So it's not only price. There are many other factors like quality, the terms of delivery, etc., etc., which have to be worked out. So negotiation involves communication, but has a lot more to it. Again, there are various courses which focus on negotiations. Then command over Microsoft Office is a must. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint presentations. This has to be done. There are many courses. Let me tell you the name: MOOCs, MOOCs. MOOCs, MOOCs is a course. You would get to see its link, I think, on IIM Bangalore's website. So MOOCs is a course where lot of small courses are available. Another such website is Udemy. So where again you would see a lot of courses on Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint presentations, which will be very important and useful for these students at this stage. Learning a foreign language can be a very good idea, at least for 2 years, and then if you have interest in it, you can go ahead and work on it in your graduation also. But a foreign language is like a very, very powerful weapon in your hands. So tomorrow, if you join a company which is a German company, you don't know much about the language, but having done 2 years into German, let's say you will know at least the salutations, the basics of the language, and that also is a value added thing. Remember, when you want to get an edge over your competitors, these small things are very, very crucial and they will really matter, because it is possible that there are thousands of MBAs or thousands of chartered accountants in a particular industry, but then someone will be little superior to others. And how? Through these skills. A computer language like Python or R programming is the buzzword today. Using web space effectively is also something that many people don't know. So having your Gmail account being used very effectively is also something very basic. Or using your Google Drive effectively is also something very basic, but people don't understand even while they work in industry. So if in 11th and 12th is used for that, it will be really great. Gathering business etiquette, sharpening your analytical skills, banking operations. So ask your child to open a bank account on his own, and ask him or her to every month go and transact. Let them operate through the credit cards, the debit cards. Let them understand how to use and how to safeguard their PIN. Let them understand how to what is the difference between an RTGS and an IMPS and NEFT. So let them understand these wire transfers and what are the differences. Um, so this is an instruction or a suggestion, not an instruction, a suggestion to parents that now it's time to include your children into your household expense management also. uh, I remember in my days, my grandmother used to tell me that don't get into money things, it's not your area, let your parents handle it. But I feel today we should not keep that approach. Let them actually give them some 5,000 and let them manage the expenses of the household. That will give them a lot of insight into cash flows, inflows as well as outflows, how budgeting is to be done. Ask them how much do you want the next month to run the house, and give them that money. So maybe he will say that 5,000 you gave, but it was not sufficient. So give me 10,000 this month and let me try to manage better. So that itself is going to give them a very, very good insight. Let them have, once they are 18, let them have their own demat account. Give them 5,000 rupees, but let them start trading in share market. So these are smaller things. Let them open a fixed deposit account, and let them do a fixed deposit on their own. Send them to post office for a small account opening, or tell them that you have to invest 500 rupees every month into a recurring account. And all these operations are going to be helpful to them. Today also you would see that when you go to a bank, actually many people don't understand the difference between a pay slip and a deposit slip. So I mean, this is not what is correct. And so at this stage in 11th and 12th, please expose them to all this. End by introducing this workshop to all of you. The name of the workshop is Shadowing the Business World. It is a 5-day workshop. So what we do in this, let me explain. So you might have gotten a basic idea of commerce, but like when I entered in commerce, I did not honestly have a fair idea of what is the difference between a company secretary and a chartered accountant and an MBA. So these 5-day course, which is a very small course, 1.5 hours for 5 days, what we do is we introduce every day we will introduce one profession to them. So, for example, first day is company secretary and law. Second day will be chartered accountancy. Third day will be, say, MBA. Fourth day will be portfolio management. So, all these days we will introduce them, expose them in more detailed manner, because today I had just 1 hour, which was definitely not sufficient. So, this gives them more insight into a particular profession. So, we do this through case studies, role plays, discussions. They get into actual bidding process. They get various assignments of pricing where they have to work in groups. So all this group dynamism and sort of getting more exposure, more knowledge about every particular field of commerce is what we do in this course. So I welcome you all to that course. The dates have not been finalized, but they will be roughly in the second week of June. So, in case anyone is interested in doing this workshop with us, please personally message me so that we can discuss further about it. Apart from this, if anyone is interested in talking more about career choices, particularly for your profile or your type of thought process or personality, then definitely you're most welcome to, as an extension of this course, obviously, which means that there are no separate charges or anything for that discussion. So please ping me and we can personally discuss about your child and what would be good for him or her as a career option in commerce. So we can do that also on one-on-one basis. For all this, you can ping me on my number, which is 9922962506.